Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. Hope each and every single one of you are doing well. Big up to everyone. We're 289 subscribers away from 7,000, which is absolutely insane. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video. We're doing something different. We're going to see how this gets on. Let me know if you're enjoying this style of content. We're going to talk about the transfer window, and we're going to talk about a few clubs today, Arsenal and Man United. Now, Benjamin Sesko, 20 years of age, Slovenian international from RB Leipzig, is being linked to a move to a number of clubs. Al Hilal, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and Arsenal. Now, of course, Arsenal fans have been telling me, and all over the socials for the last, I guess you could say 3 or 4 months, maybe longer, that they need to sign a striker. So we're going to talk about it. Is Benjamin Sesko the right guy for Arsenal? Is he a prolific goal scorer? What can he bring to their team? So make sure you go down and drop a like on the video. And make sure you watch the video the whole way through, because we're going to be talking about a potential new manager at Manchester United. Now, Benjamin Sesko, who is he? 20 years of age, joined from RB Leipzig back in 2019, which for me is just essentially moving a player from one club to the other, owned by the same people, Red Bull, but it's clever the way they've done it. 14 goals in 34 games in the Bundesliga. A fairly good return for a 20-year-old. 14 goals and 2 assists in 31 games. Does he take Arsenal to the Premier League title? Does he take Arsenal to a Champions League? Now, the striker market is very, very, very mid, in my opinion, at the moment. You got the likes of Ivan Toney. You got the likes of Alexander Isak. And you got the likes of Ollie Watkins. Apart from that, I don't really know if there's too many strikers out there. You got the likes of Guirassy from Stuttgart, who's had a very, very good season. They actually finished above Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. And he does have a release clause, I think, for 17 million euros, which could be a steal. But Arsenal, traditionally, if you look back through the likes of the Ian Wrights, the Robbie Van Persies, the Thierry Henrys, I've always had, even the Aubameyangs, the Lacazette, I've always had really, really, really strong number 9s. The Carnus, you know, the Birdcamps. At the moment, they find themselves in a very, very strong position, but they don't really have an out-and-out number 9. You got a Gabriel Jesus can play there, but predominantly, is he a winger? Is he a striker? I don't really know. I think he's better out wide. You got the likes of Gabriel Martinelli who could play there. For me, he's better out wide. You got the likes of Leandro Trossard, who could play there. He is also better out wide. Kai Havertz has come in and had absolute pelters from rival fans. Not good enough. This and that. I actually think Kai Havertz has had a very, very good season, to be honest. He got 13 goals in the league with 7 assists, 20 goal contributions in 37 games. So he's had a goal contribution every single game on average. You know, he had 1 goal in the Champions League. He didn't really make an impact in the FA Cup or the League Cup or whatever. But I think Kai Havertz needs someone else alongside him in order for Arsenal to go out there and win the major honours. Is Benjamin Sesko the guy? Apparently, Leipzig won around 55 million euros. You've obviously got Luis Openda, the Belgian striker at Leipzig as well, who could be a fantastic addition. But if I'm an Arsenal fan, if I was looking at this from an Arsenal perspective, which obviously I'm not, and I hope they foul, but, you know, the point of this channel is to speak without any bias on it. The signing that I believe Arsenal should make to close the gap between where they are right now and Manchester City, for me, is Alexander Isak or Ollie Watkins. Those are the 2 names for me that scream out Premier League winning title. Now, Ollie Watkins got 19 goals and 13 assists in the league. 32 goal contributions in 37 games. More goal contributions than any Arsenal player. In the Conference League, he also had above 10 goal contributions. He was very, very important. And obviously, they didn't win the Conference League. They fell short and got absolutely dismantled by Olympiacos. But Ollie Watkins is an out-and-out number 9, is a threat, can play on the left and can play on the right, can play out wide. And Mikel Arteta has now kind of adopted the Pep Guardiola, I guess you could say, method in signing players. He wants total football. He wants liquid football. He wants players to be able to play multiple positions. If you look at City, Vardy has a centre-back who can play left-back. John Stones is a centre-back but can play midfield. You know, Kyle Walker can play centre-back and right-back. You know, they've got Rico Lewis can go in midfield. The same as Arteta's got Zinchenko, play multiple positions. Ben White, you know, Gabriel, Timber, Declan Rice now can play this advanced role. Ollie Watkins, for me, ticks so many boxes to take Arsenal to the next level, in my opinion. Then I also look at Ollie Watkins is homegrown, so he helps with that. His contract expires, I believe, in 3 years' time. It expires, June 30th, 2028. He last signed his previous contract, 6th of October, 2023. He's 28 years of age, turns 29 December later this year. You know, has got a very, very good return in an Aston Villa shirt, 70 goals and 26 assists in 169 games. He, for me, would be an unbelievable signing for them. If they sign him, in my opinion, they win the Premier League next season. But the one guy, for me, who makes the most sense, but they would have to move heaven on earth to go out and sign him, and that is Alexander Isak, Swedish international at Newcastle. 21 goals and 2 assists in 30 games. He's a lot younger than Watkins. He's 24 years of age. He's 25 in September. Contract expires June 30th, 2028. Arsenal would have to drop, in my opinion, £100 million to get Isak away from Newcastle. Now, the Cronkies have already given Arteta a lot of money. They've given him 200 million in the previous window, and they've gone out and bought Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Timber. If you put Alexander Isak in this team, he quite easily scores 20 goals a season for the next 3 or 4 years. In my opinion, he is that good. He is the closest thing, in my opinion, in the Premier League right now to a Thierry Henry. The way he opens up his body and guides the ball into the far corner. The fact that he's, 6'1", 6'2", but still so brilliant on the ball and elegant, could hold the ball up, can take a player on, has got pace. He terrorized Tottenham at St. James's Park. And for me, he would be a fantastic addition to Arsenal. And for me, should be their #1 transfer target. Let me know your thoughts down below. But Arsenal, if they bring in a Sesko, if they bring in an Ollie Watkins, if they bring in the likes of Sesko, whoever that may be, that for me takes them to the next. Now, moving on to Manchester United. They are being linked with every single manager you could possibly imagine. They've got new owners coming in. Erik ten Hag, for me, I believe, will be leaving. You know, I think his time is up when it comes to joining or leaving Manchester United. He's been linked with a move away to Bayern Munich. Is he the guy to take Bayern Munich back to the next level? I genuinely believe Erik ten Hag is not as bad a coach as some people think he is. I just think he needs to be in a football club where he is only the manager of the team, not necessarily managing the entire football club. You know, when I look at Manchester United right now, you know, Radcliffe has come out and said he wants to bring in a manager that plays possession-based football. They're being linked to the likes of, hundreds of managers are going to be linked to that Man United job. That is not an easy job. By any stretch of the imagination, that is not an easy job. That, for me, is probably the most difficult job in football right now. I genuinely think De Zerbi is one of the names being linked with Man United. I think this could work. Now, bear with me here. Man United are bringing in, I think Ashton's going to be the new director of football. They're bringing in footballing people to make footballing decisions. Year after year after year, they've had the likes of Dan Ash, not the likes of Dan Ash, but Ed Woodward and the Glazers. Ed Woodward's an accountant by trade. You can't really have financial people making financial decisions. This is one of the reasons why Tottenham's recruitment has not been good the last 4 or 5 years. Look at Manchester City, for example. They've got one of the best footballing brains running Manchester City's recruitment, and that is the name Tixie Birkenstein, who essentially helped build, but that winning Barcelona team, he helped build with the likes of Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Puyol, Jordi Alba, you know, Messi, Villa, Pedro. That team was built by Tixie Birkenstein, and then he went and built a Manchester City team of De Bruyne, Silva, Foden. You get what I'm saying? Man United need footballing people to make footballing decisions. Now, a year outside of Europe probably will do Manchester United some good. But there's also a caveat to that. Man United right now are potentially going to be out of Europe if they do not win the FA Cup. And the likelihood is Manchester City will win it and they will do the double. Right? They will do the double. Now, a year outside of Europe, you know, you don't need as big squad, which means they can get rid of a lot of players. They've got a lot of players on high wages. You still got Donny van der Beek situation to sort out. Jadon Sancho, he's going to come back to the football club. You know, they're getting rid of the likes of Anthony Martial. They need a striker. They need someone else to help Højlund because he can't be the only guy going into next season as their number 9. They also need a striker. De Zerbi plays possession-based football. But regardless if De Zerbi is going to be the manager, whoever the next manager is going to be for the next 10 years, the football needs to remain the same. So what I mean by that is don't necessarily adopt an Ajax or a PSV or a Benfica or a Sporting or a Red Bull system where the players from the academy there's a big pathway towards the first team in terms of everyone knows how to play the same football, but just get coaches that play the same way as well as the managers. If you look at why Tottenham have been a mess the last 4 or 5 years, is because we've gone from Jose, Conte, and Nuno to a defensive coach, then brought in Ryan Mason, and then to Ange Postecoglou. And a lot of these players aren't used to playing attacking football. Of course, it comes down to the manager and it comes down to the coaches in terms of the style when the football is being implemented. But I don't think De Zerbi could be a bad manager. Of course, last year, he had a very, very strong season. He got Brighton into Europe for the first time, I believe, in their history, which was a fantastic achievement. You know, Brighton finished 6th this season. Of course, having so many extra games, injuries, and not really a fantastic squad. They finished, I believe, 12 points off of European places, and they only finished 8 points above 15th. So, of course, we always knew there was going to be a setback. But if you've got footballing people making these decisions and you wanted to bring in an attacking coach that plays a good brand of football, he's a good manager, has a track record for developing players, and Man United aren't a selling club like Brighton, I think De Zerbi could be a good manager for Man United. I'm not saying he's going to go and win the Premier League, but right now they've got such a big overhaul of players to get rid of. If you look at, you know, Marcus Rashford's not in the England squad now. The drop-off he's had, for me, is absolutely, it's the only 2 players for me that should not be sold or not be potentially up for sale in terms of this summer window, outside of Højlund, because he's not going to go, are Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, Dalot, and Onana. Everyone else, in my opinion, genuinely could be up for sale. You're talking about 15 to 20 players could be sold this upcoming transfer window. And I look at it and just think, Man United have got such a big project coming their way. They've got to be patient. You know, if you look at Arsenal and Liverpool, they are reaping the benefits now of sticking with a manager, you know, and Tottenham did that as well, where they stuck with Poch for 4 or 5 years. Whoever the next manager becomes, they can't just start getting rid of the manager as soon as they start losing a few games. There's going to be lots of teething problems. But you've got football. You're bringing in Dan Ashworth, who's a very good director of football, who I believe was the one who brought through the likes of St. Maximin at Newcastle, Alexander Isak, Bruno Guimaraes. You know, they've got Newcastle back into the Champions League for the first time in 20-odd years. That is what the aim for Manchester United is going to be. You know, get back into the Champions League and close the gap between where you are right now and where Manchester City and where Arsenal are. I genuinely think right now they will be back up there. It's just going to take time. And I think De Zerbi, for me, could be a good manager, but only time will tell. Let me know if you're enjoying this type of content. Make sure you go down, smash that subscribe button. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am